Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another season of Goffstown Softball. And my name is Scott Gross, and I'm joined by my partner, Bill Ruel. We've had a long winter, and actually it feels like winter today. But it's going to be the start of another softball season for the Lady Grizzlies, so welcome aboard, Bill.
Thank you, Scott. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Scott Boros. He worked out a good contract for us. The only problem is we didn't get on the Southern tour with him, so
Yeah.
we'll work on that next year.
We're going to have to work on that one. The weather is, it's about, they say it's 50, but it feels more like 40. We're wearing winter coats ourselves here up in the press box, but field, no grass is growing, and it might not grow for another month. We've had a pretty tough winter, and that has really put a dent in the preparation and training for most of the teams in Goffstown, not just Goffstown, but everywhere because of the winter and the snow and everything. But so most of the practices for the teams have been indoors, and I think it's probably only about a week, Bill, that they've been outside.
I think they've been out a couple of days. They went up to Raymond and played Sunday up there, and that was a good experience for them, just to get out in the elements.
Yeah, so again, the nice thing about the fresh start for all the players, Goffstown is only returning, 3 or 4 starters. So it's going to be a very young team, and got a little bit of the scouting report on Merrimack Valley. Same thing there. So very, very young team, and in the pitching circle will be Shannon Gifford, behind the plate Alex Page, and in steps Lauren McLaughlin of Merrimack Valley playing shortstop. And that first one is in there for a ball. So a very young team, Bill, for Goffstown this year.
I think it's going to be sort of a different looking team than we had last year. I think we're going to have to move people quickly. And I also think pitching is going to be extremely important.
And Gifford puts one by her, and now it's a 2-1 count. And we've got Scott Brennan up here working the scoreboard, so thank you very much, Scott. And that's fouled off, and that is what we call the Gifford ball. Not for Shannon Gifford. That's actually a Butch Gifford ball. Whenever it lands on the roof, we call it a Gifford because Butch is the one who usually fetches the balls throughout the year. That one's low, and that's going to take it to a full count. So Lauren McLaughlin goes deep into the count. And here comes the payoff pitch. And that's in the dirt, and Gifford walks McLaughlin. And now let's see what Goffstown's defense is up to at first base. Mentioned before is a newcomer, Kaylee Mullen. Yep, looking for the bunt. That's in the dirt. Now on that play, you got to have, Coyle, who's playing second base, has got to be alert because her job is to cover first base on a bunt. But on a pass ball, different story. And that is what you get there. Wild pitch by Gifford. She elevates one, and there was no way that the catcher was going to get that. So now the bunt, let's see if it's still on. Probably, it could be. It depends really how they want to play this. But number 10 is, it's either Mia or Maya Boucher. And that is ball 3. So Gifford has a little bit of a rough start here. She walks the first batter, and she's running a 3-0 count on the second batter, Boucher. And that's right down the middle for strike 1. It's tough, too, in this cold weather, for pitchers to kind of get set. And obviously you got first game nerves. That one's rising high. That's another walk. And in steps number 2, Molly McLaughlin. She's playing first base for the Pride. Yeah, I think it is. And the other thing, too, is that when this happens, this is actually a good time for the whole infield sometimes to get together. If you're going to have a conversation, you're going to talk about what your situations are, because a bunt play here, Watterson's got to kind of go over to third. And let's see what happens. Yeah, you're going to have the umpire going to come out now.
I think this girl played for them last year. I think she's returning.
So Goffstown's in a little bit of trouble here. First inning, Gifford has walked the first two. And she puts one right down the middle for a strike. And I think for pitchers, they got to gain their confidence. You know, throwing first strikes is a good way to do that. And that ball is a little low. So in the outfield, we've got in right field, Vermette. Center field is Lendry. And in left field is Sarvella. And that's a swing and a miss for a 1-2 count. Infield, first base is Mullen. Second base, Tegan Coyle. Shortstop is Watterson. Third base is Olivia Brennan. Catching is Page. And that's fouled off, out of play. And it's still a 1-2 count with no outs in the top of the first. In the dirt, nice stop by Page. Way to get behind that ball. 2-2 count. And again, I think you got a little bit of nerves going on here. Got a force out at any base but home. That's another in the dirter. Now it's a full count. So got to settle down right now if you're Shannon Gifford. Take a deep breath. Yep, because she's very capable. Obviously, she threw a couple of early strikes. Took a little off that one. That's going to go right to Lendry. And that's the tag-up situation, but no. So Lendry is going to be one of the good things with Goffstown is that they've got experience up the middle in terms of Watterson and Lendry. Obviously, Coyle, first time playing second base, varsity, in terms of a starter. So with that, it's a fly out to center field from McLaughlin, and in comes Barton, who's the pitcher. And that goes by the catcher. So Gifford has another wild pitch. And that advances the runners.
Again, I think this is another case. We've been spoiled the last couple of years behind the plate.
Oh, yeah, you had an octopus back there last year. Although I have to say, in defense of Page, the pitches that have gotten by her were, I don't think Shaquille O'Neal would have had one of them. Low. So she's trying to. It's a 3-0 count now with there's room to walk the cleanup hitter. And the thing is when Shannon takes a little bit off the ball, she's getting the strike. So maybe she's overthrowing at this point. It's kind of hard to tell, but most of her pitches are in the dirt so far. And there you go. It's a nice when she just throws that ball a nice delivery. A relaxed delivery, it's right over the plate. I think maybe she's just trying to throw too hard. So 3-2 count. This is a big pitch here. And it's right in there. So that's a strikeout. That would be a K, as in King. Strikeout. I didn't say KO pectate. I said King, Bill. Okay? All right. So now we've got 2 outs with runners second and third. Again, that's a ball, but the motion and the delivery of Gifford's ball is a little bit more natural. So 2 runners in scoring position here. And again, a nice pitch by Gifford, even and out at 1-1. Very quiet here in Goffstown. And that's a foul ball hit sharply. You gotta catch that ball, lady. Come on. I don't know if Butch Gifford got that one, but first of all, there's a nice car right behind her. You're far away. You got to give a little bit more effort than that. That's an E10 on the parent. All right. And that's a way to get out of a jam by Shannon Gifford, who struggled early but finished strong, and got to be pleased with that. Shows her resilience. And with that, we are going to go into the bottom of the first inning. There's no music because we don't really have that going, and Scott has not been officially trained in the whole scoreboard music thingy. So we got to give him a little bit of a pass here. But we'll see. There might not even be any musical iPod-ish device. I could give you my phone, but the music is inappropriate. So
Or you could sing for us.
what? I did do that, Bill, believe it or not. In high school, I was in the chorus, believe it or not. So I want to talk to you, Bill, about coffee. So I went and I got a Cumbies coffee. Very good, very tasty. What I like about Cumberland Farms, and again, they're not an official sponsor of GTV. I'm just saying this casually, is that you got a lot of flavors to choose from. And now I'm not one of these flavor guys, but man, you got like amaretto, you've got, Irish cream, you name it. And you probably got like 15 different flavors you can put in this stuff. And it's 99 cents. It's great. Good deal.
And if you put something in it, it even tastes better.
It does taste better. So anyway, that was my my story for today, was my pleasant visit to the Cumberland Farms in Goffstown and a delicious cup of coffee.
Glad you brought us off one.
Next time I will bring the box of Joe. So leading off is going to be number 6, Kara Landry, returning player for Goffstown, plays center field. And she takes strike 1. Curious to see if Goffstown is patient or if they kind of attack the pitchers. And right down, she's not even swinging. She takes 2 strikes. A little bit different than, and she goes down. That was not the greatest at bat, but it is the first at bat of the season. And when you think about it, look at the Yankees, right? You had Stanton, right? He's first at bat home run, and then he strikes out 10 times over 2 games. So who's to say, So in comes number 12 for Goffstown, and Coyle goes after one that's kind of near her chin. So far it's 4 straight strikes for Merrimack Valley's pitcher, and that is lays down a bunt. So now she's in an 0-2 hole. Sadie Barton, yeah, I mean she's throwing some good pitches. And I tell you something, yeah, Coyle was looking at swinging at that one, and she's in terms of a little bit shorter of a player, she's got to be careful not to chase high pitches. Just another high one. Yep. So the count is even at 2-2, and I apologize for the graphic situation on your camera. We were not able to sync up our iPad with it today, so not able to keep that in sync. So we'll have to keep you posted. And Coyle goes down swinging. So that's a second strikeout for Barton, and in comes Gifford. And let's see if they do a little scouting report on Gifford, because Gifford had a monstrous sophomore year. I think it was 6 home runs, right? Yeah. And she takes first pitch strike. So this is the difference, between, say, Barton and Gifford in that first inning. Barton's pitching like almost all strikes. And Gifford strokes one right up the middle, and she gets the first hit of the season for Goffstown with a single. And Watterson will now come in to the batting arena. And let's see what they've got her doing. Not really sure if they want to start test. I haven't seen anybody try any steals, so. But I do like the fact that you're showing steals. It gets everybody thinking, Bill. In terms of all your infielders, your catchers thinking, and everybody, pitchers thinking. That was a little bit of a high pitch, but the blue called it a strike. So just as long as he calls it both ways, we're good, right? A 2-1 count to Watterson. It's a 0-0 game. Just started off. And took a little off that one, and Watterson fouls it back to even out the count. We got a lot of deuces. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the top of the first inning. 0-0 score. Another high pitch. So a full count. You'll see Gifford running on this one with 2 outs. So on the release, you'll see Gifford run, and she's off, and that's going to be a slow roller to first base. And Watterson got out of the box a little late on that one, I thought, but that'll do it. So Watterson grounds out to third, and in the bottom of the first, it's all tied. So got our first hit of the game by Shannon Gifford. And I think you're right, Bill. I think this team's going to need to manufacture some runs. But it's hard when you got 2 outs, But you might see a lot of bunting going on here in Goffstown.
It's different, just think, you're out really the first time playing the game. You're all nerved up. The girls can't say, hey, this is the beginning of the season, all right? But you gotta play it out. And I think give Shannon this inning. Let's see. I bet you found the day.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think in those first couple of batters, she was trying to maybe she was overthrowing a tad bit, but then when you almost saw it in her delivery, when it was a more relaxed delivery, the ball was going right over the plate, and it still had good velocity.
I'm sure Emily spoke to her between the innings.
Yeah. Now, prior, to this whole pitching thing, I called Shannon the wild thing, and I mean now it's not really appropriate as a pitcher, because it conjures up, major league and that whole thing. So, but I called her wild thing only because I just thought was kind of like her personality. She was hitting a lot of home runs, but in the whole pitching world, we'll shelve that one for this game. Okay, so in steps number 12, Alani Ramos, and that first pitch is in there for a strike. And that's a really great pitch, and Ramos was really late on that one. 0-2 count now, and that's over the catcher's head. I tell you, if I'm playing on the right side of the infield, look for this ball to go there. I think if she gets a piece of it, she might be swinging late. So that's why Watterson's got to be a little bit, got to pay attention here, because I would shift over a little more to second. And that's a strike 3. So Gifford gets another K. That's her third straight strikeout here. And Megan McGonigal, she's the left fielder. She steps in. Man, it is cold today. In there for a strike. So Gifford has definitely settled down. A little rocky first couple of batters. A little low. 1-1. Fouled off. So I was noticing that Goffstown has got a parent photographer. That would be Kevin Mullen. And I see right behind him is Dave Belliveau, who also does a lot of photography for Goffstown sports teams. There could be a little bit of rivalry there. And that's another strikeout. So all kidding aside, it's really great that parents get involved in Goffstown. I know, try to preserve those memories, whether it be Butch Gifford here on the camera helping us out today, or folks like Dave and others. That's in there for a strike. So good motion there. Mullen came in. Coyle went shifted over. Now you'll see Vermette coming in big time. She's playing a very short right field. And that's high and outside for ball 1. And that looked good. Right on the outside edge for strike 2. We got 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 out here on the top of the second. And that's another strikeout. So she strikes out the sides. She struck out the last 5. What's very impressive, too, is Scott Brennan on the scoreboard. I mean, this guy is quick. No disrespect to Brad Parkhurst, because Brad is a super top-notch guy. but Scott's got him by I think a second, right? At least on these things. He's got a quicker release. Quicker release. There's no doubt. And he teaches that. Scott's, teaches a ton of basketball, and he teaches that quick release on the jump shot, and he definitely is showing it up here in the scoreboard today. I'll tell you, the field looks pretty good, and it looks like I'm seeing people, again, I don't know. There's a lot of doggies going on here, and I don't know. Is that a Gifford dog out in the – okay, so maybe, they're playing around. The dogs are playing with each other in the – I don't know, Butch, if you can get a shot at back out there. But so the high school did a lot of drainage work, and it was very wet, this field. And based upon the fact that I think that's Butch's better half, Mary, out there, and she's not like it's not in quicksand. That's a good indication that with all the rain and the snow and everything, that the drainage is working. Yep. Usually, right field is in tough shape, and those two dogs are having a good time out there. And in steps number 4, the pride of the Brennan household, Olivia Brennan. She's playing third base today. Normally she plays catcher. And see, I like what she did there. See, so she's setting up in a little bit of a crouch. So that means that hopefully maybe she gets a little cheat a little bit in terms of getting those strikes, those high pitches for balls. And she fouls one off for a 1-1 count. And that's what Coyle needs to do too. Yeah, exactly. Another high one. 2-1. Well, Barton came out really blazing, but she was throwing mostly strikes. Now she's starting to mix it up a bit. And that was a great pitch, and Brennan was late on that one. 2-2 count. I look for an off-speed pitch here. And she throws a fastball, and Brennan's a little late on that. Fouls it over on the first base side. Still 2-2 count, but good battle right now. And she strokes it to second base, right through the wickets. And here comes a close play. Safe. So good hustle by Brennan. But I tell you, a great play by the right fielder. Great awareness by the right fielder and the first baseman. And that was a lot closer play. Yeah, that went right through the legs. The hometown usually gives a hit on those things, just so you're saying. I'm just saying. And not the fact that Dad is sitting to the right of you, but you're probably right. They go right through the legs. And it's a bunt by Mullen. Great bunt, by the way. And can she go to – there's nobody at third, and she's safe. So a great play by Brennan. And nice play also, nice call by Coach Matt Fleming. What happened on that play was the third baseman came in for the bunt. The shortstop was kind of late covering, and then the third baseman had to go back and able to extend that bunt first to third. That's textbook when you can get it. So in steps Saya Sarvella. She is the left fielder, and she takes her first pitch for a strike. But a nice sac bunt by Kaylee Mullen. Give her credit. Laid it down perfectly on the first base side. And that's high. And so far, Barton really hasn't thrown anything wild. But, the nice thing about having a runner on third base is that it creates opportunities. So pass ball, wild pitch situation might score a run here. And that was a perfectly placed pitch for a bunt, but she just couldn't get it down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And I thought Barton had a little bit more gusto on that pitch. All right, 2-2 count with 1 out. We got a runner at third base in Olivia Brennan, also playing third base today. So she represents a run. Low, 3-2. So good eye by Sorvella. And again, here's one where Your job is you got to make contact on any pitch that's close. Get the ball in, put the ball in play is the most important thing here. And she draws a walk after going down on a 1-2. I think so. I think you because if they do throw the ball, then you're going to score a run. So to me, it makes sense that you're gonna do that. And then you also take a runner. You take the force away, which is also important.
So then, my question to you is, when she took off here, why didn't she just continue to go to second?
Yeah, she could. And a lot of teams do that, Bill. They don't waste time. All right, and so in that case, So that's a great play. So you sacrifice an out by Cervella, but you get a run in Brennan. So Brennan comes and scores the first run of the season, 2018 season. So put that in the family scrapbook, Scott Brennan. And Goffstown's up 1-0. And this is what I think Goffstown's going to have to do. It's kind of like scratch and claw on runs. And Vermette is up there, and she takes a ball to even out the count at 1-1. Do you think that strike two? If I'm Merrimack Valley, I don't know if I throw the ball to second. Not because with your number 8 hitter coming up, you know what I'm saying? And Vermette is late on that one. I guess what I'm trying to say is it'll be runners at, say, second and third with one out. Your 8th hitter is up, and then your 9th hitter is right after that. And your pitcher has a decent amount of strikes. So no one's really tagged her. That's all I'm saying.
The only thing I can think of the other way is they think that they're going to be able to score some runs.
All right, well, good for them. And now she's got a run, and she didn't. So, I'm sorry, there was only one. Okay, it was foul tip. So good eye by Vermette, and now she has a 3-2 count. And these are the critical things, too. If you strike and if you miss and the ball gets away from the catcher, you got to run. And she draws a walk. So it was. And I'll tell you something. Both Sarvella and Vermette had really good at-bats. I mean, they went deep into the count. She's not as sharp as she was in that first inning. She's throwing more balls, and now in steps the catcher, Alex Page. And Vermette has got some pretty good speed, and I'm curious to see if they will try to steal. So Page with 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. That's high. And I kind of like that because, again, Vermette has pretty good wheels. And
Doesn't hurt to draw a throw.
it doesn't, right, because you don't ever know what happens. 2 balls and no strikes. On deck is the leadoff hitter, Carol Lendry. Another high pitch. And now that's 3-0. Well, now you might as well do that, yep. Although this is also a pitch that you can take a swing at if it's right down the middle. High. Wow. And you could tell that she took a little bit off that one just to get it over, and it's just not going. So this is an opportunity for the catcher from Merrimack Valley to kind of go out and say, hey, you've walked now 3 in a row almost, right?
She's lost the strike.
Yeah. So she's had 3 straight walks. And I'm not sure what Coach Matt Fleming is doing. I think he's placing a takeout order for maybe pizza. No, it's going to be a runner for the you get a courtesy runner for the catcher, and that's going to be number 17, Emily Peterson. A lot of smiles on Alex Page. So 3 straight walks given up by Sadie Barton, and now Lendry has got runners at first and second. And that's a lot of balls right now being thrown. And good move by Merrimack Valley head coach Sam York. He's got to find out what's going on here.
Looks like, I wonder if she's having trouble with her landing point. Playing around the dirt a little bit.
A lot of excuses, Bill. Come on. It's just all about getting it done. All right? Landing points, and she's short stepping. And what else? What else you got on that head of yours? The angle of the deflection.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, yeah. It's the release point. Yeah, it's all those things. Talk to Mark Campbell. He'll give you a few more.
Fabulous first inning.
She did. She was lights out, and now she's struggling a bit.
She's taking something off the pitches, too.
Landry with a 2-0 count. And she's late on that one. That one was so beautiful over. That thing should have been rocketed. I mean, that was not that fast. Landry's got to connect on these. High, 3-1 count. Still, it's only a 1-0 game. This second, bottom of the second, has lasted, longer than a Roseanne episode. And Landry swings and misses on that one. So full count. You'll see both Peterson at first and Vermette at second. They'll be running on this one. And that's high. Another walk. And that is the 4th walk in a row. And the bases are loaded now for Tegan Coyle. So, again, this is probably one where maybe you want to take some pitches if she's struggling. And Tegan goes right after it. Goffstown hitters have been pretty much late on almost all these strikes. There's really only Gifford really had a really good stroke at it so far in the first go-round. A little late on that one, too. So now Barton is getting a little help from Coyle on an 0-2 count. I don't know. All I know is if I throw one right over the middle. And she's jumping at that one. You know what I'm saying? Her feet are not planted, and she's like lunging at the. Yeah. Yeah. And she goes down swinging with the bases loaded. So good job by Sadie Barton to get out of a real jam. She struggled, and she strikes out Coyle for the second time in the game. So with that, Goffstown picks up 1 run in the bottom of the second inning. Really pretty much a manufactured run. Goffstown hasn't done much with the bats. It's all walks, and it was kind of like a what do you call that? It's not a fielder's choice. What is that situation where you give up a run or give up a sacrifice? I don't know what the hell it is, but it's something. Player indifference. Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see if Shannon can hold it together now.
Well, she's been Shannon has she'll lead off next inning too, but that was a very, very long latter part of that second inning. That thing lasted forever. And only 1 run was scored too. I smell this is the beauty of softball, right? You could smell the French fries right now. I don't smell hot dog just yet, but it's the grandstand. That's beautiful. This is the symbolism. Some say it's Easter, eggs, etc. I think it's the smell of French fries, right?
Pumping it up here, too.
Oh, I know he does that. Yeah,
He's down there with
yeah. He always does that. Yeah. This year will mark the 100,000 hot dogs sold out of the grandstand. I don't know who's going to end up getting that hot dog, but many, many years selling the dogs here. And I remember for years, Wake Stillman. You remember Wake, good old Wake, right? Former head coach many, many years. Wake was the defender of the cheap hot dog. If Wake had his way, he'd give them away for free. He looked at it as a lost leader, right? You make your money on something else, but not on the hot dog, right? It's sacrosanct to the guy. And I think how much is a hot dog now? $2? $1? No, really? Hold on a second. Hey, Bruce, how much is a hot dog? Bruce, how much is a hot dog? How much is a hot dog? For you? Yeah. No, seriously, how much? $1.50 for a hot dog at the Rand stand. I mean, you got it. Listen, even if you don't like softball, come down and get a hot dog. $1.50, can't do much better than that. And these are like the good ones, too. This is not like the cheap hot dogs, right? These are like the Kayams, right? And that's a ball to even it out at 1-1. You know, a lot of times you go to these concession stands and they give you like those really cheap hot dogs, but not here. And she offers on that bunt and misses, so that'll be a 1-2 count.
Now, speaking of hot dogs,
Yes,
I'm reading a book on Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, the the former Red Sox player. Strike 3, another K. That, by the way, is number 6 in a row. If she keeps this up, we're gonna have to like get those people who are in the outfield putting the K's up on the fence or something. I mean, this is kind of monumental. So speaking of Babe Ruth,
So, he was notorious for his eating habits.
I've heard that.
And he loved hot dogs.
Really? That's in the dirt, and that's a 2-0 count to number 5, the leadoff hitter who walked. That was Lauren McLaughlin. So she walked in her first at bat, and now she's got a 2-0 count. Another 3-0 count. So, this might end the streak right here. It doesn't look like McLaughlin's taking the bat off her shoulder. And that's a 4-pitch walk. So that's McLaughlin. She's doubled up. She's walked twice now. And in comes, again, Boucher, number 10, plays third base. With 1 out, you're probably going to see a bunt. So let's see what Brennan's doing. Brennan is about 2 steps in on the bag. And that one is in there for a strike. I was a little bit concerned what was going on there. Wasn't sure if that was a ball or a strike, but it's a strike. And that's another strike. And I just learned that it is Maya, not Mia. And that's a pop-up. That's playable. That's playable and caught by Mullen. And no one was covering second base at all. So,
Your left fielder came in.
yeah, and that's your center fielder should be doing that. Now on that one? So what happened on that one? Did Gifford try to go over to catch that one too?
I think
But why was the short step on the pitcher's mound? I don't understand that one at all.
2 outs, that's all I
And she offered on that one. Oh, come on, bub. That was definitely an offer. I saw that. Contracts have been signed on offers like that. And that's a ball, 2-0 count. Runner still at first base, and Molly McLaughlin, and she flied out to center field. Yep, I agree, especially Landry. She's playing real deep. Vermette's not. Vermette's playing normal, and that's to second base. And that's a nice job by Coyle over to Mullen. So good job by Coyle and Mullen. Nice catch over on that first base side. That's never an easy play, especially when you've got multiple players converging on a ball, and especially early on in the season. So good job by Kaylee. I'm sure her dad, Kevin, will feed her tonight based upon that play, knowing Kevin. And so with that, we go to the bottom of the third. Murderer's row right now with Gifford leading off. I'll tell you one thing, and it's nice. You got some good sticks here at third, 4, and 5. You got to get a little bit better at bats at a 1 and 2 right now. That's and so far I've seen only 4 at bats, but they have not really been great at bats, and it's really important for Landry and Coyle to set the stage here and get on base no matter what. It doesn't matter if you get on a walk. It doesn't matter if it's a single, but you got to get on because you need some damage done by Gifford, Watterson, and Brennan. That's always been like the golden rule, you know. If you bat first or second, you got to make contact. You can't be striking out. You know, you got to get good at bats. And most importantly, you just got to get the ball in play. We really haven't seen the ball in play a whole lot, really. I mean, there was that one, 2 balls that were hit, right? I mean, one of them was right now is the player who's up at the plate. Shannon Gifford had a single right up the middle, strongly hit ball. And then the other one was that ball that was sharply hit by Brennan to second base, and it went under the glove. She hits a third base side. Let's see what third baseman can do. Not a really strong arm on the third baseman, but she gets it over there. And Shannon Gifford, that's a first pitch swing to third. And Watterson, and she grounded out to third on her first at bat. And she takes first pitch as a ball. And that's low for ball 2. And that's right over there. She laid off on that one. 2-1 count to the shortstop, Justine Watterson. Infield's playing normal depth and that ball is hit to center field and under it. And she kind of lunged for that. Made it look a little harder than it was. But a good job by Jaden Holmes, center fielder. And Brennan steps in with nobody on with 2 outs. And you'll recall that she hit one sharply to the second baseman, and the ball went under the second baseman's glove. And she scored, right. Oh, that was she looked like she was trying to check her swing. Just didn't happen. So quickly, Brennan is in an 0-2 hole with 2 outs, and this is kind of what Barton needs. I mean, Barton needs an easy inning. She struggled at that last one. And she hits one to second base again, and that one's fielded cleanly this time. So nice job by the second baseman, and that was Alani Ramos, and she gets the third out. And we're going to take a little bit of a break.
Really cold on Sunday, and they weren't squeezing the bat that tight.
Yeah,
You know,
I saw part of the first game with Raymond, and then my wife said, "You got to come home. I got too many chores for you."
All right, we're back in the top of the 4th inning in a 1-run game. Goffstown leads. Not a whole lot of margin for error here, Bill.
4, 5, and 6.
Yep. So Barton, the pitcher, and what did she do? She struck out her first time up, and outfield now is playing a little bit more. Whoa! Where'd that one go? High release. What was that, Bob Uecker? Just a bit outside. That was a great movie. Oh, I really like that one. But, you know, I'm not getting paid the big bucks going behind the plate. We get the meager contract. And it's fouled off. So Bill and I, just for full disclosure, Bill and I don't get paid to do this. This is strictly volunteer. But we wrote a book, and where our book signing tour will be behind the Randstand after every game. So if you're interested in buying our book called Goffstown Softball Over the Ages, it is $9.95, and we look forward to signing the book for you. Right, Bill? Yeah, $9.95. Listen, we're trying to sell a lot of them, and it's for us. So another high one, and that's a 3-2 count. In terms of her setup, yeah, she's reaching. Yeah,
Let the ball come to you. That was better.
and Coyle gets a good jump on that ball. So nice job by Tegan Coyle to register the first out of the inning.
You let the ball come to you, the umpire will see it.
Yeah, see it better. Yeah. And Haley Bootwell, designated player, comes in at number 23. Yep. And that's right in there. Wow, nice pitch by Gifford. 23, that would be LeBron. That would be Michael Jordan, the whole thing. You don't really see it a whole lot. I mean, trying to think famous baseball players. Who had that, 23? That's high, 1-1. I thought you would like rattle something off, because come on, you're like an encyclopedia of this stuff. I got him stumped. He's thinking, I don't know, is it a Craig Biggio? I don't know. That's low, 2-1. What about Don Mattingly? What was he? He wasn't 23, was he? He was 20-something. 21? 25? Three 3-1 count. So after a going,
What was Ramirez? Was he 20?
I have no idea.
Crazy Manny.
Manny, was he? 24. And that's a walk to Bootwell. And in steps Alani Ramos, second baseman. And you're going to see, yeah, I think you're right. You got to manufacture some runs here in the top of the fourth. No. And she fouls off a bunt. And everybody's moving for the Goffstown Grizzlies, which is good. Outfield is playing a bit shallow with the exception of Vermette, normal length, but the center fielder and the left fielder are in. Another bunt, and she offers. So now she's got a hit. There won't be a bunt play on, and now Goffstown has got a force out at second base. And let's see what happens here. 0-2 count with one out. And that pitch was low for ball one. Big thing here, though, is, yeah, I got to keep the ball in front of you. You don't want the runner to advance. It's a good pitch, though. I like that pitch. It was perfect in terms of, an outside, make her go after it on a 1-2 count. I like that. In the dirt. Great play by Paige. That saved the runner from going over that. Now it's a 3-2 count. And this is another one where, she struck this player out in the first go-around, and this is one we just got to lay it over there. Just lay it over, let her make contact. And that's it. All right, so it's a strikeout for Gifford, and in steps number 7, Megan McGonigal. Now, this was Harry Potter, right? McGonigal? No. Oil Can Boyd, number 23. Excellent. Scott gets that one. High for ball one. Did you have to look that up on your phone, or did you know that? He was thinking. Okay. Because Bill does not use any type of electronic devices when you're trying to come up with stuff. He's kind of like a Wikipedia in his head. And that's strike one. He's kind of like, I think Mattingly was 23, but oh, I love that pitch. She took a little off that one, and it kind of like, her delivery on that one's a little bit different than others, and it kind of fools the hitter. 1-2 count with 2 outs. And she doesn't see where that is, so now the runner advances over to second. Now, the reason why now this is also important because with a 2-2 count, Paige has got to hold on to the ball. If Paige doesn't hold on to the ball, then the batter can go to first on a – whoa, that one – oh, that one did – listen, that could have been – that was a good attempt. That's a hot dog effort right there. That could have done some damage big time.
So now you see something. She didn't get around.
Right. But so shift. Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. She's got to move over. Okay, full count with 2 outs. Big spot here for number 7, Megan McConigal. A base hit could tie the game. And that hits her. Dead ball. She's got to go back. So that actually helps Goffstown. The fact that it hit the batter helps Goffstown. If it didn't, we'd have runners on first and third. And then ostensibly you would argue that that runner at first would go to second. So in steps Jaden Holmes, and she plays center. She struck out her first at bat. Yeah, so she's the number 8 hitter. And now you got to talk. You got to go out and talk to your pitcher because she short-armed that one. Now we got runners at second and third.
Come on, Shannon, let's go.
These are situations where you just want to get over the plate. Yep. That's what I'm saying right there. Nice, easy delivery. Gifford's got good mental toughness, so she's, she proved that in the first inning, getting out of a jam. Nice stop by Paige. That was beautiful. If you saw, she quickly got her, her chest behind that ball. Used that catching equipment the way it should be done. So great job by Alex Paige to keep that ball in front of her. Strike 2. So now we got a 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So Jaden Holmes has an opportunity here to take the lead with a base hit. And if that were not for the umpire, that might have been a run. So now it's a 3-2 count. You do have a base open at first, but you don't want that here. You want to get a strike here, and this is the thing. Paige has got to hold on to that ball if it is a swinging strike. And that's it. So Shannon Gifford bears down deep to get a strikeout of Jaden Holmes. And at the bottom of the 4th inning, going to the bottom of the 4th, Goffstown still holds on to a 1-0 lead. So this one's going to be a toughie.
Yeah, it's going to be low scoring. Could come down to just a miscue.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Pretty good sized crowd here for opening day.
So going back a little bit to Babe Ruth, I got some. So when the season was over, they went on tour.
Yep.
And they got a couple guys together and they go around and play teams. They played in Pawtucket.
Yeah.
They played in Providence. They played various places. Seekonk, Rhode Island. And they got paid he said he got $150 each game that he played. But he probably lost it on the horses the next
Oh, yeah, right. He was quite the partier, right, in terms of the drinking, the gambling, the partying guy. I mean,
And he had a farm in Sudbury, Mass. For years. He eventually had to sell the farm. But That was his way to get away from New York.
Oh, good for him. All right, so Kaylee Mullen steps in. She had a beautiful sacrifice bunt in I think it was like the second inning, and that's in there for a strike. She hits it sharply to first base. Nice play by the first baseman. And that is Molly McLaughlin. Again, kind of textbook in terms of keeping that ball in front of you. So Mullen grounds out to first, and in steps Saya Sarvella, and she walked her first time up with a good at bat. She takes strike one. And she swings late on that one. You know, one thing I haven't seen is I haven't seen any even attempted bunts just to get on base. Third baseman is playing even with the bag. From what I saw before, it doesn't appear to have a incredibly strong arm, you know, a gun. So, you know, that's an opportunity that I think is there. Goffstown hasn't seized on that. Yeah, but we haven't done any of that. And that's one of the things that maybe happens a little bit later on in the season. But I think what Sarvella goes down swinging. What I like about that is that when you go up there and you show bunt, that makes the third baseman think, can I play even with the bag? Do I got to play in? They're thinking. But when you just go up there and you're just swinging, right. So now comes Vermette, and she's got good wheels too. I mean, and there are like that pitch was a perfect pitch to bunt on. That was a strike, a little bit of a high strike, but strike nonetheless. 1-1 with 2 outs. Now I happen to know that Danielle Vermette actually called Danny probably the best dancer on the team. Seen her at a practice or two. She's got good moves. She swings at one over her head on that one, which was not such a good move. 2-2 count with 2 outs. That one looked a lot similar to the ball that he called a strike not even 2 pitches ago. 3-2 count for Vermette. So let's see what she can do with it. And she hits one to the shortstop, a floater, and she goes down, but gets good, puts the bat on the ball at least. And at the end of 4, we got a 1-0 game.
I'd say there's not a plethora of books
A plethora, that would be a good word. Very, very good word.
that came out of the memory bank.
So Bill, our crack technician here, Butch, says that you might got to talk a little louder, put the microphone near your mouth a little more. I don't know. You could eat it? Yeah. You know, Butch has been doing this for many years too, and do appreciate that, Butch, you coming and helping us. You know what's crazy about these spring sports seasons is that, you know, we're almost in the middle of April, and this season's got like another 5 weeks to it. That's about it, you know, right? Middle of May, late May, right? June, Because then, the playoffs are done right before, like, graduation and everything. And the graduation's, like, middle of June, right? So not a very long season. Yeah. Nice throw by Page. So, as we mentioned before, there's not a whole lot of room for error here for Goffstown. I mean, one of these Merrimack Valley players gets a hold of a fastball. This game's going to be very quickly tied up. Haven't really been able to put a whole lot of runs on the board, and that's Goffstown. I mean, both these teams have struggled offensively. And lefty is up. And I didn't catch the number on this one. Number 8, Sadie. Yep, I'm sorry. And she struck out her first time up. And she offers and misses. That's a 0-2. Yeah. That's in the dirt. Nice stop by Page. 1-2 count. Top of the 5th. For those of you who don't know, we play 7 innings in girls softball. So Saturday, Bill, they say it's going to be what, 70 degrees. Hopefully we'll get a little better weather on Friday afternoon's game where we host Trinity. Oh, that one looked like a strike, but he was looking at the Rand stand, the cheeseburger entree, and didn't see the strike. It's onion rings now. What? 30. And that's a walk. Ugh. That's a tough walk on Gifford's part because she had command of that batter, and she gave her up. So Sadie Moreau gets a base on balls, and now it's your number 1 hitter, your leadoff hitter, McLaughlin, and she's walked twice. So she hasn't even offered at the ball. And she fouls it, bunts foul. So, again, you should see movement here by the Goffstown infield. Coyle should be going over to first, and Watterson covers second. Fouled again. Again, what's interesting is that, we go to a lot of these practices, and that bunting is in girls softball. It's something, it's practice all the time. And with the exception of the great bunt that we had by Mullen, other than that, hasn't been all that great. Nice stop by Page on that one. 1-2 count. McLaughlin, 1-2 count. And that's strike 3. And it's interesting when Gifford just takes a tad bit off of it, like it's in there. So that's first time she got a K on McLaughlin, and now it's Maya Boucher. She walked and popped to first. That was a play where Mullen made a nice play. She also offers bunt and fouls it. Now, I don't know if Gifford's ball is moving, but they're having a really hard time squaring her up. And it could be. I mean, her ball could be moving, and it's increasingly difficult to get that bunt down. But
The way these batters are bunting,
they're lunging at it, and
field is very hard now. Ball's going to travel a long distance.
so it's an 0-1 count with 1 out. That ball's in the dirt, and she's going to get it automatically anyway. So now you don't have to worry about a bunt now. So now my question is this, is that do you bunt to third base here to get the runner over with then, say, 2 outs? I say yes. Yeah, I think you do. I think you continue to bunt. But they're not listening to you or I. 2-1 count. Outfield is playing normal depth. Cervella and way to hang in there by number 10, Maya Boucher. She got a piece of that one to even it up at 2-2. Haven't seen a whole lot of balls put in play here, especially nothing to the left side of the infield, right? I mean, we haven't seen anything go to Watterson or Brennan yet. And that's going to be a fly ball to center fielder, and I would not be running on Landry at all. 2 outs. And in steps Molly McLaughlin. I forgot what she did in her. I know she flew it to center field. What was her second one?
4-3, so she's hit the ball twice.
Okay. Oh, that one looked good, but Blue didn't think so. Scott, you got a good vantage point over there. What'd you think? A little outside, he says. Okay. We don't have our GoPro camera. And that's going to be a little flubber, and Mullen gets it. So nice job by Mullen, and a nice job by Gifford. And at the bottom of 5, we still are holding on to a 1-0 lead. So both teams are battling on this one. The problem is who's going to want it the most when you get to those latter innings.
In reality, she's throwing a no-hitter.
Who? Who? Oh, yeah, yeah.
The others are only throwing a one.
A one-hitter, yeah. So, it's interesting. We talk about softball. I know that the folks at Rand stand here. They always trying to think of different things to sell for food. I was just curious, Bill. Like, what do you think they should sell? I mean, they need something. They need to change up the menu a little bit. And I'm thinking burritos. A burrito, maybe a churro or something Mexican. I think that a lot of people like Mexican food. And I know that they had a fundraiser at, I think it was Chipotle, I believe. Was it good?
Very good.
Yeah, Chipotle's pretty good too. But we got this taco tour coming up, Bill. May 3rd, okay? Thursday, it's Thursday. Taco, right, the taco tour. If there is a game, I wouldn't be doing it. I'm just being flat out. I mean, I enjoy the taco tour. I like softball too, but I don't get paid to do this, and it's the taco tour is probably one of my top 5 things to do each year. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's it. Good play. And all she needed to do is if that bunt could have been another 5 feet, she's safe. The ball just died like literally maybe 4 feet. Yeah. But I do like the fact that, bunt to get on base, let them make plays. And that's another flubber. And so Landry, what you call that one, that's kind of a line out to first. And Coyle takes ball 1. You talk about fast, right? So, we've been throwing a lot of pitches, Gifford has. And in this particular inning, it's a couple of pitches and 2 outs. Boom. Oh, she went after one that was over her head. I would agree. Well, I don't know if Coach Matt watches our broadcast, but maybe he'll take you up on that. You are a Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Famer. I know he respects you. Maybe he'll take a look at that one. So Tegan Coyle is in a 2-2 count with 2 outs, and she's kind of lunging at the ball. And you're right, Bill. I think maybe taking a step back, giving her a little bit more time to see it. And she goes down swinging for her 3rd strikeout of the game. And now we go to the top of the 6th. Looks like I'm seeing Dave Trinka on the first base side. It looks like Dave. I don't know if you can zoom in on Dave. Is that him? I think so. Yeah. So Dave's daughter, Erin, played center field here. She's playing at UMBC. And Utah, it was funny because, so just for full disclosure, I went to Binghamton University in upstate New York. And so I sometimes get like emails about like what's going on with their sports team. So Binghamton was playing UMBC, and Erin plays for UMBC. It was 25 degrees the weekend that they played. 25, 30 degrees. It's Binghamton, New York. It's upstate New York. And we've had a really cold, month of April. But, man, it's like, that's brutal. Whew.
Binghamton, that's double A team, too. That's
Yeah,
one that
Mets.
has,
The Mets.
has Tebow playing for them.
Yes. Yep, the Binghamton Mets. Not much going on in Binghamton, New York, though, I got to say. Good school, but other than that, there's it's
You got to go to Canada?
I don't know. Well, you got Syracuse, about an hour and a little, maybe 90 minutes north of there. You got Ithaca, Cornell University, a little bit close by. But that southern tier of New York has struggled, over the years in terms of they were a very big manufacturing part of the country, and much like areas of Pennsylvania and Ohio, just have had some hard times. But in steps number one, the pitcher, Sadie Barton, and she struck out her first time, and then she lined out to the second baseman, her second at bat. And she takes ball one. Outfield at normal depth. Coyle playing she's playing normal depth too. And that's a little bit of that kind of handcuffed her a bit. Even up at a 1-1 count. Top of 6. Goffstown's hanging on to a 1-0 lead.
Now, I'm looking at this girl at the box. She's back some.
And that's hit. That's going to be launched. Wow. That one, I had a little heart palpitation on that one. Nice job by Danny Vermette, but I got to say that one got me a little scared because that's a really tough ball. Just so, in case you'd never played outfield before, but a line drive right at you is the hardest thing for an outfielder to catch. It's in there for a strike. There's no time to pick, in terms of, you got to pick up the ball. And when the ball is hit right at you, there's almost no time to react. That one, you know what? He's calling it both ways. So like it or not like it, I didn't think that was a strike, but you know what? There was other ones I didn't think were strikes either. So 23. We got to remember 23. Oil Can Boyd and Don Mattingly. That's all that matters. Haley Bootwell, she struck out in the first, and then she walked. And she strikes out again. Again, good pitch by Gifford. And in comes number 12, Alani Ramos, and she has struck out her first 2 times in the game. And that's a pop-up. That's going to be trouble, but no. Watterson gets a glove on it, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Shannon Gifford. So we go into the bottom of the 6th, and this is what you want. You want some insurance runs if you can get them. And who do we got leading off on this one? Shannon Gifford has an opportunity to maybe give herself a bit of insurance. So let me get this straight. Mr. Rand is giving away, I got a cheeseburger for, is that for me? Is that for me? Is that mine? No? Oh, my goodness. It's yours. All right. You know what? I remember when those kids were like so little that they would have given me that cheeseburger. Now it's all about I got to feed myself. She did right because she went after that first ball. She went after it,
I'd like to see her get on base. Put the pressure on them. It's a one-run game.
Oh, here comes the law. Is that the law coming down? Can you go? Can you zoom in on that? That looks like the lawman. Is that the lawman? Kerry Stekowicz.
Undercover.
Yes, he looks like he's like doing an undercover operation, but now he's probably in like what I would call politician mode right now. He will be glad handing people. Anyway, I don't think he watches these broadcasts. I'm not going to get myself in trouble or anything like that. Not getting pulled over or anything. No, Kerry is a super guy. Very active in the Goffstown community. And Shannon takes a ball. And, knowing Kerry, he's probably going to get about 3 hot dogs. So, and she goes and she swings and misses, and that evens it up at 1-1. Yeah. Yeah, we gotta get Kerry up here because he'd be good to talk to, Bill. Ooh, that one looked good. Now, Scott, again, did you see that one? That one looked like it was nice on the inside, but good. No? Yeah, that would look like a strike, but 2-1 count. High, 3-1 count. So now this is the pitch. This is going to come in, and this is going to go out, and it's going to be a call. I feel it coming. I feel it. And it's stroked to left center field. That's going to be a double for Shannon Gifford. And she stroked that one. That ball was well hit. Best hit of the game for both teams here. That ball was stroked to left center. And now some strategy. Do you bunt here? And, Butch Gifford is saying, no, not with Watterson. Why take a bat out of a good hitter's hand? And that's what I would say too, Butch. Of course. Listen, this is not Babe Ruth, right? Where they walk in runs. You got to get a hit. That's right. And I promised Justine Watterson that we were going to play her song if she got a RBI. And he does this. Butch, can you give him the book? Yeah.
Unless he just wants to get her to third.
Well,
That,
yeah, but then you can bunt again. You could technically bunt somebody home, but you better be able to lay down the bunts. So good job by Watterson offering, but then she pulled it back quickly.
they had it covered short.
Yeah.
But look at the gap in the middle.
Oh, I know. I don't know. He's got faith, he says. Yep. And that ball is bunted foul. I got faith that she missed the bunt, and now it's a 1-2 count. So coach is saying faith, right? There's a quote there somewhere. Yeah. Would you bunt David Ortiz? No, I don't know. She's not really Ortiz, but definitely a Pedroia type. Yeah, 4. Yeah. 2-2 count to Watterson. The key in these situations is that Watterson is going to give you even a productive out. She's going to put the bat on the ball, so fouls it off the catcher's mask. 2-2 count. We got Brennan on deck. We got a 2-2 count with no outs. Runner at second base. Shannon Gifford hit stroke the ball to left center for a double. And that's going to be a foul ball. And we've got screaming going on here, and very unprofessional by the cameraman. Tag, he says. So, No, I get it. I'm just saying it's just when the second base runner happens to be your daughter, it just comes out. He can't help it, And that ball, same thing here. Oh, she fell down. Oh, is she all right? She hurt herself.
Keep going, Justine. Go.
So Goffstown plates a runner, but we've got an injury on the right fielder. I think she either twisted an ankle or something, but yeah.
She never touched the ball, so
Yeah.
you got to give her 3 bases.
Yeah. So we're going to take the camera off the player if we could on an injury situation. That's what we do, Butch, so you can look at somebody else, yourself. You can look here. You can show us. Look, show me and Bill, right? Come here. Show me and Bill. So that was a very important insurance run for Goffstown. It's a 2-0 lead, and we'll hope that the player for Merrimack Valley is okay. But so good job by Watterson. Now, regardless of what had happened there, even if that ball was going to be caught, and I'm not so sure that it was. It looked like it was going to go over her head, but even if it did, that would have been a very productive out on Watterson's part because it would have got – Gifford was tagging on that play. So I think in that situation, Bill, you're over here. Come on, the camera.
Well,
Look. This is like American Idol,
You know
okay?
what, again,
Yeah,
Justine did what she had to.
yeah,
She put the ball in play.
yeah.
That was the key thing.
Right.
Whether it was going to be a hit or not, she put it in play. Gifford was going to advance.
Yes. So luckily, the player in right field, and that is Sadie Moreau, she is okay. So that's the most important thing. And now we've got a runner at third. And let's see if we see a squeeze here. You think you'll see a squeeze? I say no, too, only because you got ample opportunity. They're going to be playing the infield in, which they have to do here. So Brennan has an opportunity to put the ball in play. And this is no easy thing either. I mean, infield in softball is a challenging situation because the ball comes in hot and heavy. Number 23 is going to go over to left field. And who's coming out?
23 was your designated
Player. And
left fielder comes out.
right, and that was number 8, right? No, that wasn't 8. That was, I'm sorry, 7. That was Megan McGonigal. So Brennan steps in. And that ball's over her head. That's going to score a run. And a good jump by Watterson, and didn't even have to worry about that situation. It's, all that effort to bring the infield in, change people up, and then one wild pitch and done. So Goffstown picks up another insurance run. And that insurance run is brought to you by some insurance company. But, yeah, can't say any because that would be promoting one company over another, Butch. We can't do that. Only food places. And that ball is stroked. Look it out. It's a home run. A home run for Olivia Brennan. What a shot over the right field fence. So a home run for Olivia Brennan. Her first home run as a varsity player. And that ball was rocketed out of the stadium. So great job. And an even happier face by Big Daddy Scott Brennan here. What a great time. I love it. So that ball got crushed, an opposite fielder, and that ball traveled very quickly, Bill, out of the park. So in steps Mullen, first baseman, and she hits a little number, and that's going to be, she'll be safe on this one. So now, that's what I was saying all along. A bunt situation, they're playing so far back that you're going to get on. That wasn't a bunt. That was just I call it like a squib type hit. But Mullen gets a single out of that one. And in steps number 16, Saya Cervella. She sets up the bunt. But you see she's dropping. And you just got to let the ball make contact with the bat. That's the key. Your job is to deaden it. Yeah, right. You got to pull back, not stab at it. It's the other way around. And they're kind of stabbing at it. And that ball gets behind the catcher, and Mullen advances over to second base. So now Cervella's job, for all intents and purposes, is done unless they want to get her over to third with only one out, which is very possible. But with a 4-run lead, I say you hit away. But she's, again, the coaches in these situations are looking at, I'm not saying it's practice per se, but you're going to have to put down a bunt in critical games. And so in that case, Cervella wasn't able to execute here. And she goes down swinging. So it was a long swing by Cervella. So 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning, and in steps Danny Vermette. She walked and then grounded out in her first 2 at-bats, and will we see another bunt? She's showing. That ball's in the dirt. Good job by the catcher, Sarah Cook, able to.
That runner at third base.
Yep, he does. Yeah, he wants another. But this is also a situation where he's playing for, not for today, he's playing for 5 games from now, you know. Yeah, nice bunt. And she's fast, you know. See how fast she gets down the line? So that was a perfect bunt, perfectly placed. So great sacrifice bunt by Danny Vermette, and that advances the runner, Mullen, over to third base. So she has an opportunity to score on perhaps a wild pitch, and in comes Paige. She walked and grounded out in her first 2, and she takes strike 1. There, all of his players are up in the box. She fouls one off, and that one, will it come down? And it does come down. So it's now an 0-2 count, 2 outs. And let's see what Alex Page can do here. She's in an 0-2 hole. And fouls another one off. Way to battle. And not a great effort by whoever was over there, lady in red. Now, if you can name that one, who sang that song? I think it was probably late 80s, maybe early 90s, Lady in Red. Remember? She's Dancing with Me. Remember that one? Maybe not. High. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I think his name was Chris DeBerg. Chris DeBerg. Right, Butch? Chris DeBerg. Fouled off again. Way to hang in there by Alex Page. Guys don't wear red a whole lot, do they? It's not really a guy color. Yeah, except for if you're wearing a tie. And Paige, she's still hanging in there. That could be a Gifford ball. It could be. And it's coming. No, it's staying on the roof. That is a Gifford ball. That's a Butch ball. That is not coming down. Another one. And that one is also, that's coming down. You know what? No matter what happens in this at bat, I'm proud of Paige. I think she's doing a real good job hanging in there. She is really battling here.
I almost think they measured this picture out, you know?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it takes you a couple times through the order to figure a pitcher out. Because she was, let's face it, she was lights out in that first inning. Oh, and she went after a high off-speed pitch. So, oh my goodness gracious, she's had such a good at bat. But the inning is over. Goffstown picks up 3 insurance runs. And the highlight of that inning was the crushing home run by Olivia Brennan over the right center field fence for her first home run. She's all smiles talking to Coach Bartlett. And we talked about this in the beginning of the broadcast, is that Goffstown lost a lot of players off of its roster last year. And when that happens and you bring in new players, players are going to have to step up, and I think Olivia is one of those players, who's going to she's going to have to carry a load for this team in terms of offensive production. And, just kind of,
She's a good athlete.
she's a great athlete. For those of you who don't know, she's a phenomenal basketball player. Just a great all-around athlete altogether. But this is not like a kid who just sticks with one sport, and just masters that particular craft. She plays multiple sports, and with that, I mean, think about this, not even 3-4 weeks ago, her focus was basketball the whole time, and now, boom, we got a shift, and now we're hitting a softball. I mean, completely different skill set here. Very, very difficult hitting. So I think she's one of those key players, and I think there's a handful of others that are going to have to really step it up a notch this year. but so far a really great pitching performance by Shannon Gifford. I think she's a no-hitter, right? I mean, there hasn't been a hit. There's been a ton of walks, a ton of other things kind of going on, but no hits. Hopefully that her dad can kind of keep his act together here in the last, 10 strikeouts and 10 walks. And is that what he's saying? I don't know. We got this. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 walks. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, if he feeds her tonight, that's the key. You know, he's probably a little better than Mullen, but you know, Shannon will probably get like some sort of maybe a sub or something out of this performance. And now we're going to have a conversation between head coach Matt. Oh, so he's giving him a little bit of a break to catch his breath. That's a really nice move by the head coach Matt Fleming. Basically, he probably told Alex Page, "Good job." No, only kidding. No, just. But she's been Alex Page has done a nice job so far today, and this is her first varsity catching stint, I believe.
She had a couple last year. She got a couple innings.
She had a couple innings in, but Lombardi got most of the action, and that is in there for another strike. So quickly, Gifford is up in the count 0-2. And popped up, and Gifford is calling it. And she catches it, and that's the first out.
Oh, I thought that was a tank coming through here.
No tank. So in steps number 3, Jaden Holmes. She struck out her first 2 at-bats.
She's the one that tries to bunt.
Yes. And that's in there inside, but it's a strike. She looks a bit off balance in her stance, but I just don't know if she gets a chance to really load with that stance, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 1-1 count with 1 out. And that ball is hit to Tegan Coyle, who gets it over to first base for the second out. And now there's one more out left in this game. So the question is that do we do an interview, Butch? And what do you think? I don't know. I'm not really wearing my best clothes. I say maybe not today. Let this focus. Let this sink in a little bit. You know. This is number 4, which would be Lexi Gerard. And that's in there for strike 1. So Lexi Gerard has strike 1 on her, and here comes the next pitch. And she fouls that one off the wall. And now she's in an 0-2 hole. So Shannon Gifford is 1 strike away from a no-hitter. In the dirt. Kind of short arm that one a little bit. I think she was trying to do the knuckle curve on that one, and she's trying to do the same thing there. I think when you I think you just got to throw the ball over. That might have cost her dessert tonight at the Gifford household. So we'll see what happened. I don't know. Pops doesn't look too happy. It's gotta be. Listen. And she went 0-2, and now she's just pitched 3 straight balls. Don't look to the left. Do not look to the left. There will be, yes. You know what they say, the final out is the hardest to get, you know.
Go out now. Just say, hey, got one pitch. All right, they get out of it.
And it's fouled off. Nice job hanging in there by Lexi Gerard. So Merrimack Valley is down to their last strike, but it's a 3-2 count with 2 outs. Shannon Gifford looking to shut the door here for Goffstown's first win of the season. And that looked good, and it's not that good because Blue said no. So that was a toughie. I thought that was a strike for sure. Even Scott Brennan thought that was a strike, and he's a tough grader. So in comes Lauren McLaughlin. She's the leadoff hitter. And that's outside for ball 1. And Danny Vermette was running in on that one like I like her in right field because it's good to have a right fielder with good speed like that. Now that looks like the strike zone's getting a little smaller here in this bottom half of the 7th. High, so 3-0. Her body language does not look good right now. She looks a little frustrated at herself. You got a big cushion here. It's just a matter of delivering. There you go. 3-1 count. You know, you can't see it, but you know, it has to be stated that fundamentally you got Danny Vermette running over to the first baseline on every pitch practically. That's a strike, 3-2 count. So you might see the runner is going to run here because it's a 3-2 count with 2 outs. So runner at first will be in motion. And that's fouled off. So nice job by Lauren McLaughlin to hang in there. And that was a tough pitch. So Lexi Gerard is the runner at first base. She will be moving on the release. Goffstown needs one more out to close this one out. That's popped up out of play. And a very lackluster effort on that side. A guy puts his cap up. And then the other thing, too, is you got a lady right next to you. If that ball hits her in the head, I mean, that's just not good. You know?
Is she from Merrimack?
I don't know. I don't know. Typically, that's the Merrimack Valley side, but it's like you got to give a little better effort. And that ball gets by her, and all right, so we got a walk to McLaughlin. By the way, McLaughlin walked 3 times this game, struck out in her 3rd at bat. So in comes Maya Boucher, number 10. She's the 3rd baseman. She's walked, popped to first, and then a fly out to center. So she's made contact. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. Rally caps are on. And that's popped up out of play and barely out of play. I don't know if Coyle would have had a shot at that one. That was a tough play. But now, again, like we were talking about before, you got to know the situation. So nobody has really hit the ball to the left side of the infield. And it looks like they're late on these swings. He did, but I would like to see maybe Watterson shade a little bit. Yep. And Page lets one slip through the wickets, and that's a no-no in a situation like this. That one went right through the, what do they call it, the 5-hole in hockey. So now runners are at second and third, and you want to kind of preserve a shutout here if you can. So 1-1 count with 2 outs. And that ball is hit to center field. Landry's got a track on it, and she gets the final out. And beautiful job by Landry, who tracked that ball. And that's a strength that Goffstown has as a solid center fielder. So with that, Goffstown wins its home opener 4-0 on a no-hitter by Shannon Gifford. She had, what, about 10 strikeouts? 10 or 11? 10. Struggled a little bit with control. Had a fair amount of walks. I think it was 6 walks. But nonetheless, Goffstown was able to claw together some runs. Again, highlight of the game, it really was that home run by Brennan, but also that shot by Watterson. So they were able to really bring together, a few runs here and there, Bill.
This is a good test, even though there wasn't a lot of hitting. It's still a good test. You always want to go out and get that first win.
Yeah.
And the way they did it, they had the battle at the end of the game to do it. Granted, the home run was a big play, but you know what? Not many balls in the infield, no errors.
Yeah, I think you got to be happy overall with the performance of Goffstown today. And it's always good to get that first win under your belt. Takes a little bit of the nervous jitters out of some of these players who have yet to play a varsity game. So especially whenever you can open up your season at home is also a nice thing. So we're going to sign off now. We will be back on Friday. We're in Goffstown host Trinity High School. And typically when we play Trinity, we always seem to have a couple of players from Goffstown who either went to school here earlier or who live in Goffstown but then now go to high school at Trinity. And I know we've got a few couple. We had who was it last year? It was Carly, and then this year it's what's her last name? Yeah, so I know we got a couple of players that are coming in. So anyway, with that, Bill, I want to thank you. I want to thank Scott Brennan for operating the scoreboard for us, and obviously Butch Gifford for doing that. So it's Scott Gross and Bill Ruel signing off, and we'll see you on Friday. Take care.